Hi guys, my name is KawadiVT, and welcome back to another episode of Gibberish and Brain Mush. Last time I did a video about the worst art advice that you could have received. I found it on a Reddit post, so I decided to make my own Reddit post. Issue is it didn't get that much reach, but I felt like I wanted to talk about it anyways. First things first, this comment, I don't know how comments work in terms of being deleted or anything, because I explained in the last video, I'm still fairly new to Reddit, so when things get deleted, I have no idea. like how or why, but someone did. The very first comment I got was, if you want to achieve anything in art, draw at least 3 hours a day, which is a lot of time in a week. 3 times 7 is 21 hours. That's basically a part-time job. I would not actually recommend to draw 3 hours a day. Do I understand where they're coming from with this? Maybe. Could this have just been a troll comment? Oh, for sure it could have been. Don't draw 3 hours a day. Don't burn yourself out. If you end up drawing 3 hours a day, that's cool. I actually tend to draw like anywhere from 3 to 5 hours a day on top of my normal working. I've drawn even more. There have been days I've drawn 8 hours. But that doesn't mean that you should draw 3 hours a day. So yeah, maybe don't draw 3 hours a day. Sometimes it's nice just to do a quick little like 1 hour session. 15-minute warm-up, scribble scratch on the paper. The first 15 minutes of painting are the most important. Spend more time planning so those first 15 go great. I don't know whether or not to agree or disagree with this, and I'm wondering, there's not a lot of context there as to why they're important, personally. Because the first 15 minutes, you still need to warm up your arms and hands and all that stuff, so if you find that to be important, I don't know. I think that doing sketches and warming up your hands and stuff like that are really important for the first 15 minutes. I don't necessarily know why they're the most important, but if you find the reasoning as to why, then cool. If you want to be good at art, you must be able to handle being bad at it first. That is actually like some pretty solid advice. I wouldn't necessarily say bad, because just like most skills, you're just, think of it like you're a sim and you've got that little bar that goes up and you're just trying to get your bar to get, you know, filled up and then get to skill level 2 and so on and so forth. It's just, think of like, you know, where your skill set is gonna be and stuff and all that for like how much time you've spent on it and things like that. I wouldn't necessarily, you know, say, I don't necessarily love being like, oh, this person's bad at art. I think the only time I could really try to be insulting like that is with, depending on the person's outlook and how insulting they're gonna be towards other artists and things like that, but I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah, I just expect that your skill quality isn't going to be exactly where you would love it to be in the beginning, which should help drive you and fuel you to being where you would like it to be later. Early in my learning, it was that there are no original ideas. After becoming a professional artist, done is better than perfect. This is true. There isn't really a lot of original ideas anymore in today's world. Have there ever really been? You know, I think trying to put your own artistic flair onto something is really important. In terms of trying to be the original or first at something, that just is most likely never going to happen, even if you've never seen it happen. There are plenty of times I've come up with concepts for books and I've asked other people what they think and they go, oh yeah, that's already a movie, and I go, oh okay, never mind. Oh well, moving on. But yeah, you're never gonna be the first at anything. You're never gonna be like the most original at anything. Just put your own artistic flair into things. And the whole done is better than perfect. 100%, I agree. Don't give up on your art pieces. Just try to finish them and learn based off of them. Don't completely scrap it. Don't get frustrated. Don't close out your drawing app. Don't throw away your paper. You can always improve, but it's hard to improve when you didn't finish the first thing. I was really privileged to have the chance to hear Gerald Brom speak. I'm a fake artist. I don't know other artists. So if I said his name wrong, please don't kill me. A huge fan of his work on Dark Sun. He himself is a huge fan of Frank Frazetta. He spent years trying to paint like Frank Frazetta until one day he told us that he realized that the only person that can paint like Frank Frazetta is Frank Frazetta. That he realized one day the person could paint like heroes. The only one person can paint like Frank Frazetta. Right, yeah. The only, whenever, my brain is malfunctioning. You're never gonna be able to paint like somebody else. You're never gonna be able to draw like somebody else. You're not ever gonna be able to create like somebody else. But you can be inspired by them, and you can take helpful hints and tips and things like that. Maybe even try to use some of that into your own things, into your own artwork or whatever. But you will never be like someone else. This is true. He also said character design is really just costume design. I stopped looking at characters from that point onwards and looked more at costumes. You know, okay, so I did comment back and I said, oh my god, you opened my eyes with the character design thing. And that's true. If there's anything that I have made a goal with this year is to get better at character design. So that is really good advice, rather than, I don't know why that clicked better in my head than anything else, but yeah, just trying to, because when you're doing character design, a lot of the times it's like, what's the theme, what's the aesthetic, what's the mood, what's the color, you know, palette and all that stuff. And that is really important when it comes down to what creates the element of like a costume that you put on for Halloween or cosplay or whatever, is all of those little elements that make that specifically so perfect into that. So definitely, I actually do agree. I think that is a really good way to look at the costume, the character design thing, is just think of, well, how do I dress this person up in this costume to make it, you know, the way that I want it to be portrayed. Now, I myself am going to say my own little bit of advice, I think, in terms of what I think would be good advice. This is something that I had to learn the hard way. Don't be, because a lot of the times, you know, we tend to be friends with people of similar whatever mindset, whatever, and a lot of times artists become friends with artists or other creative mindsets and things like that. My piece of advice to anyone out there is don't compare yourself to that person on that level. Everybody has different drive levels. Even if you have two ambitious people, they could be ambitious in completely different ways, and the journey and how they get to point A to point B in terms of their creative journey, it's gonna be different for both. So whether or not one person takes off a little bit quicker compared to the second person, compared to yourself, rather than finding envy or jealousy within that person, find a way to boost them and be happy for them, and just know that with your own determination and ambition, you will get there too. And honestly, maybe even take tips from them and say, hey, like, what's working for you? And I just want to know what could work for me. And, you know, it's better to cooperate or, you know, boost your friends around you and others around you. Don't be jealous or seek any kind of envy or anything, because it's not really going to get you. The more negative your mindset is about in any field, not even just the creative space, but any space, you will eventually, even if you go up at some point, if your mindset is very negative, you will start sinking down. Try to boast yourself and stay up with a positive mindset, and you will go up higher. Thanks so much for joining us on another one. I know this was short, sweet, and simple, and to the point. I didn't feel like looking through Reddit for other pieces of advice, just through my own laziness. And to be honest, I actually thought we had enough variety from the people who commented to just be able to make quick notes about those things. But if you guys have any really good art advice that you would like to share, go ahead and let us know in the comments below. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button if you would like to see more videos like this or other videos that include artwork that I will be posting later. And yeah, I will see you on the next one.